A very good evening to you once again, and welcome to today's edition of Abuja File on KAFTAN Television. My name is John Okoro. Abuja File is that program where we bring to the table all the issues that pertain to the nation's capital, the Federal Capital Territory, and the aim is to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings, issues, events, and many more. So it is my pleasure once again to welcome you to the program Abuja File. And on today's episode, we are going to be looking at different things that are transpired in the nation's capital during the course of the week. It's going to cut across security, road transport control, and so many more. All you need to do is just to do what? Sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. Right here in the studio to discuss these topics with me is a very special guest. He is Comrade Salihu Dantata Mahmoud. He is so many things, but most importantly, he is a critical Abuja stakeholder. Comrade, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okoro, and thank you for that encomium, critical Abuja stakeholder.
Yes, exactly. You are a very critical stakeholder, and in the course of the program, our audience, our listeners, our viewers will definitely find out why you are a critical FCT stakeholder.
Thank you.
Once again, welcome to the program. Without wasting much time, let's just dive straight into our discussions. Comrade, this week, there were some rumors of earth tremors in the FCT, in the area of Mpape area, some parts of Maitama, Gwarimpa, and and elsewhere in the city, and the government agencies, I think the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, and the Abuja, the FCT, Emergency Management Agency, and others, they have looked at it. They say, well, it's nothing to worry about. And again, I also heard that the government has also set up some kind of committee to prepare the people, in case of any kind of emergency and so on and so forth. But people have actually attributed this to this issue of rock blasting in the Mpape area and so on and so forth. I don't know what you make of this tremor in the FCT. Is it a prelude to some kind of big natural disaster?
You see, the major problems we have is that our system works at arithmetical level instead of working at geometrical level. Even though we have a very hardworking minister, two-term governor of Rivers State, who is now FCT minister, and to the glory of God, Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu has given that autonomy to administer FCT like a state. Because don't forget, before the advent of El-Rufai in 2004, Abuja used to be managed and administered by Ministry of Federal Capital Territory.
The
But
MFCT.
after El-Rufai came, he sought the approval of President then Olusegun Obasanjo, and Federal Capital Territory Administration came to be,
FCT,
where he had mandate secretariats and also of others. But Nyesom Wike took it to another dimension by even exempting himself from Treasury single account, administrative autonomy, and also where he was given leverage, and 9 permanent secretaries were appointed. Already the existing mandate secretaries are there, and even creation of more mandate secretaries. But even at that, the issues are sometimes administrative languages go more than practical supervision. We had instance where Trademore Estate was once taken over by floodings, where they even said it was not safe any longer, they should relocate them and also for that. And even though the estate residents and what have you held press conferences, I was part of one where they said they are appealing that government should take certain steps, since there is ecological funds office that can manage sort kind of things. But issue of Mpape, I'll be precise. Presently, in Katampe area of Mpape, there is a place that is called Miami in Abuja.
Okay.
It is activities of quarry activities that they have dug from up to down, that water developed from ground to top, that people around that areas have turned to like tourist attraction. I once carried out independent documentary on that areas. Those companies on quarry activities there do not even do what you call CSR, corporate social responsibility, where they need to provide certain health assistance, education assistance. They don't do it.
Even and the FCT environmental impact assessment,
the EIS, the FCT authorities over time never at one time sanctioned them because of alleged bribery and corruption. Be it as it may, the agencies involved alerted people. It is the failure to heed to these advices that caused this flooding in Borno State. That today, some people are even blaming the governor and other ones. Most of these states that you see are having environmental disaster. The chief executive officers who are governors and whatever, they refused to heed up to
early warning signs.
Early warning signs. So, His Excellency, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, it is now time for him to do what is right, when and how. FCT has Abuja Environmental Protection Board. FCT has FCT Emergency Management Agency and other agencies charged with that responsibility. Now they should sit down, bring traditional rulers from FCT, retired police officers, retired development control directors, retired Abuja Environmental Protection Board, then retired directors of DRTs, that is VIO, and other stakeholders, even from private sector professionals, so that they can sit down. How do we go about it? What bank give grants? We have ecological funds. Even though during former director of Abuja Recreational Park, Dr. Riskat Suleiman Abdulaziz, she once sought for ecological funds for that Parks and Recreation Department because it is a purview. She couldn't access it. So I think now that particular agency, Abuja Parks and Recreation Department, because anything to guide against tree felling and all that, it goes under them in conjunction with AEPB. The FCT authorities should assist them to write in order to assess those ecological funds. There is a permanent secretary ecological funds office and office of secretary to government of the federation. States have been benefiting, individuals have been benefiting who have ecological related disaster issues. FCT, to the best of my knowledge, has never assess that funds, maybe due to error or other things. But let FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, now that he even have administrative autonomy, make the agencies concerned to assess those funds, because disaster is imminent if care is not taken.
Especially this issue of tremor, because I know in 2018 there was also an issue of tremor, and now we have it repeatedly. So I think it's important that the authorities, like Comrade said here, whatever it is, if you have to assess the ecological fund or whatever, later the right things be done, because this seems like an early warning sign. Now, Comrade, let's talk about security. You are also a security consultant. You know, a very, 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 very good security consultant at that. Now, just recently, the Commissioner of Police of the FCT, former Commissioner of Police Bennett Igwe, was promoted to an AIG, and then he was appointed the AIG in charge of Zone 7. Then a certain Commissioner of Police, Okoro, was appointed to the FCT. But some few days later, he was now redeployed to, is it Delta State, if I'm not mistaken, while the Commissioner of Police of River State, that's Disu, will now come to take over in Abuja. You know, Abuja hasn't actually been immune from the issue of insecurity that has been ravaging the country over the years. Now, do you think that with the rejigging of the police command, the hierarchy of the police command in the FCT, that maybe we might see something new in terms of fighting crime in the territory here?
Well, with all honor to immediate past FCT CP, Mr. Ben Igwe, MNI, PSC, Daga, is a man I knew right from the rank of Chief Superintendent of Police. He was once in charge of the disbanded Special Robbery Squad, and we knew he fought criminality. And he was Deputy Commissioner Operations, Zone 7 Headquarters, before he was promoted to Commissioner of Police. He participated in the onslaught against armed bandits as well as kidnappers in Mpape, Buhari, and other axes, where in conjunction with gas brigades,
communities,
yes, as well as IGP, SIS, they carried out onslaught. They even were the ones that rescued those one family of 5 that were kidnapped in Buari, the Ilorin people that even unfortunately they lost the 500 level daughter of the man. And also that. So that is the dexterity, devotedness and skills of Mr. Igwe. And I was opportune to be the anchor person when Political Science and International Relations Department of University of Abuja honored them alongside Director DRTS, Dr. Abdulatif Bello, IG Kayode Egbetokun, Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, NECO Registrar, that is Professor Dantani Ibrahim Wushishi, and also of others at Merit House. So you can see that kind of closeness and what have you. The issues are sometimes we that are in the security aspect externally, we know the profiles of both members of the armed forces, DSS, police, and others. The man that is now being brought from Rivers, don't forget, CP Tunde Disu was in charge of Lagos Rapid Response Squad, and he fared very well. And Lagos RRS is one of the strongest rapid response, made up of police, navy, armed squad of immigration, civil defense, DSS, immigration, customs, NDLA, navy, air force, army, and all of it. And they achieved a feat. And from there, he was brought to intelligence response team. He was the one that succeeded Abba Kyari, DCP, that is now incarcerated. So when he got promoted, he now left to become Commissioner of Police in Rivers State. And now you already know the FCT terrain. I haven't served as IRT, even though IRT is under Department of Force Intelligence. So that is to tell you, the Force Secretary, the DIG operation, and even the IG Kayode Egbetokun knows the kind of men that have the wherewithal that can man strategically. Because when you talk about internal security, positioning is the purview of the police. So I think that decision is a good one. And let me tell you one thing, FCT security is in FCT there is Director Security Services Department who coordinates the security for the FCT within the FCTA. So the issues now are even DRTS, which are VIO, they contribute to security, road safety contribute, NDLA contribute, immigration, civil defense, police, DSS, and also of other army, navy, air force. So they used to have coordination periodically, the whole meetings. So the issue I'm saying, I think this is a step towards the right direction. And don't forget, insecurity also extends to one chance syndrome. Of recent, EFCC operative lost his life along Lugbe Road. Via were about 2 officers, one along Area 3 when she boarded vehicle, she was killed and dumped. Another one along the Katampe Bridge, and also of others. And you know there is ministerial task force headed by Shehu Adam Suleiman in Ueda, made up of VIO, police, DSS, civil defense, armed forces of education, including volunteers, that goes to guide against Okada riding in order to avert armed banditry, as well as illegal parking on Peter taxi, then against one chance and what have you. So the issue I'm saying is a collective responsibility and decision. And don't also forget, the security issue now has been taken to order. There is a tripartite arrangement where on capturing of driver's license, there is a shared responsibility between road safety and FCT VIO, where as you are capturing, all your informations are there. But the problem we have is data is always the problem. The police wanted to bring data center, they couldn't achieve database. Then later, the data fusion center. So for somebody that couldn't achieve database center, you now want to do data fusion. So above all, what I'm saying all this is that it's all encompassing and collaborative efforts. So I think now what they need to do now, beyond just the new Commissioner of Police, Tunde Disu, it should be a kind of synergy. You can see how they were able to rescue 20 abducted medical students along Benue and southeastern area. Air onslaught by Air Force was going on. It was a coordinated, the ground troops of operation, Army, police, DSS, and they were all on the ground. The same thing, look at how they killed Sabubu. Air component was carrying out in Zurmi, carrying air onslaught, then the ground flights, ground troops were going on. So it's all about synergy and cooperation. If they do that way, it goes a long way.
So it's about being a good intelligence officer, and also a good administrator.
Absolutely.
Now let's go to the road traffic control in the FCT. You mentioned the VIO in your submission earlier, and there has been this outcry from the residents of the FCT on the mode of operation of the VIO in the city here. You see a lot of them just troop out there, along the road. Some people say it looks a little bit intimidating in some aspects. So people have been soliciting, like the way it's done in other countries. Can we deploy the use of technology. And in fact, you also see that the VIO and the road safety, what they do seem to be overlapping each other. And currently now, the police is just on the verge of introducing what they call the electronic central motor registry, which is also going to be borne by motorists. You have to go and register. Nobody knows how much that is going to cost. So, first of all, looking at the operations of the VIO, as you see many of them tripping out on the road, to store vehicles and the demand for the same thing, papers and everything. Don't you think that we could actually do better? Like I know, like in South Africa, you cannot see those kind of things. So everything is done in a digital and using technology, with the right addressing system of every motorist, with the cars being registered, and then you have the technologies along the street. So if there's any kind of traffic infringement, it'll be picked up, and you don't need to have about 10, 20 VIO guys on the street trying to enforce some of this law. What's your take on this?
Well, in the first place, the police ECMR has been altered and suspended by the police IG, Kayode Akpetokun, when it became subject of controversy.
But just yesterday, the false
PRO, don't forget Nigerian Bar Association.
I mentioned it too.
Don't forget the e-spider of Nigerian Bar Association had protested against before he suspended it. So if yesterday the spokesperson came, we still wait for
the official operation.
That is,
because he was just trying to highlight the importance.
Like road safety created 1988 by Ibrahim Babangida administration, there were traffic laws borrowed from both existing vehicle inspection officers and offices as well as police. Don't forget, police as integral part of traffic and water department. Yes. So the issues are, let me start with the VIO and FCT.
Okay.
When you observe, yes, you see them there. You see sometimes it is gradual process, the process of digitalization. For example, obtaining of driver license, number plates. If you observe now, the DRTS under the incumbent director, even though the predecessors tried, Dr. Abdulatif Bello, he has placed assessment and vehicle registration for numbers online, that you can do everything online
without coming physically
that is
to
it.
the office.
Then don't also forget the number plates, for instance, is a shared responsibility. The road safety have the production plant, they produce and design, then the VIO share, and the reliance on FCT number plate is higher than other states.
The demand for it, right?
And I will tell you a good news now. The director, Dr. Abdulatif Bello, has introduced only 3 days operations on the roads. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, instead of 5 days. So, and I think this kind of initiative should be commended, because sometimes they also listen to public outcry. And for example, now I'll give you a scenario that played out. I was opportune yesterday, before their sporting event that they did competition in Area 10, as a stakeholder. Yes, I was invited. I was at their driver's license section. Then a man came with a test sent to him for collection. Unfortunately, he ought to have come with the hard copy of the temporary, which he didn't come with. So as he was talking to the staff outside, one of the level 10 Eagle never understood it. He now was giving command to the lady sitting not to attend to that client who came for collection. I was talking to some lawyer. It attracted me. I went and inquired. He told me, and I had to plead to him. So I now did a kind of alternative dispute resolution. Unfortunately, due to unruly behavior of that level 10 officer and Eagle, he now said, even if I take it, it's not good. I now asked him, I said, are you the director or are you an authority? Don't you know that these customers also have right? But because of the discretion of the head of collection center, Engineer Sam, he now inquired, comrade, what is happening? I said, your staff is being unruly, because even as a stakeholder, I wanted to make image for you because of the action he has done. He doesn't have that right. This man has right. There's consumer right.
As a customer.
Do you know, with discretion, Engineer Sam, who is the head of that collection center, called the man, inquire, and ordered that he should be attended to. That is discretion.
PR.
So sometimes some of this attitude you see on the road has to do with individual attitude. That is why the director now, Dr. Abdulatif Bello, has Savicom under him, also have the provost unit that has been existing. Then they also have monitoring and intelligence unit that goes without their notice to check how they are also behaving to people on the street. So what I'm trying to tell, gradually, since you see number plates have been digitalized, then the driver license possession is a two-way thing, tripartite arrangement. You come and you come for the initial processes. The VIO does the initial processes.
Which
no, we've not even come to that. Okay. The driver license process, you start with the VIO testing you, do it for fresh and other things. They sign the form. When they find that you have passed the exam of driving test before it get to 2000 process, is the road safety that now capture. Then the final process of the license comes through the road safety. Same way with the number plates. So like the joint task force now, that one is against, right from a Rufai time, Okada riding outside dispatch is prohibited in the city centers and some roadside and what have you. So for that, the ministerial task force against Kabu, illegal parking, unpainted taxi, Okada, what have you, they do this joint, both VIO, both road safety, civil defense, army, police, volunteers, DSS and others, and their offices in Ueda. So beyond that, I think gradually they are also trying. Then also the police, they have their traffic wardens, they have their MTD. For example, if accident happens, the police have people that come and mark who was on the major way and what have you. Exactly, then again, there are areas where the VIOs too are written to inspect. So it's all collaborative effort. And don't forget, road safety also have their own team. For example, if you are driving, making call, they have the call marshal team that apprehends you, take your driver license. Sometimes they subject you to psychiatric tests and what have you. Then like the VIO, now they do both computerized inspection and manual. Because from Musa Mohammed as FCT minister said they should also be carrying out manual inspection, where when they stop the vehicle, they will inspect right on the spot the tires, whether it's not worn out tire, whether your wiper, trafficator, fire extinguisher, C caution, trafficator, driver license, valid document, and other things that make your vehicle to be roadworthy. For example, if your vehicle is smoking, it's already on roadworthy. So they have a lot of roles they play. But also sometimes the public have their own faults. Like, let me give you an example now. When there are issues, there is Savicom there in DRTS, road safety have their own provost, police also have theirs. If you are aggrieved on the road with the excesses of some of this, you can come to the headquarters, make complaint. Several times they write complaints. Sometimes they even take legal means.
The issue with us as a people is that in many instances we don't have that time, you understand, to do certain things. But so that is why we have a program like this to enlighten the people. However, we know that some of the modus operandi of these VIO guys, like I've seen some of them trying to rip off, or not just trying to, they ripped off people's number plates in the name of carrying out their responsibilities, which nobody's stopping them from doing their job. But I think
like VIO now, yes, they have stopped removal of number plates.
Okay, but
there is under Dr. Abdulatif Bello, who is the substantive director. You don't forget he was director of security services in the FCTA. Exactly. Then he has hard-working team. For example, you have the operations. You have Deborah Osho is in charge of operations. In fact, she moves to commands to road to observe that if they find anybody removing number plates and whatever, they sanction such officer, they face panel. Then again, like if there is violation of issuance of driver license, the motor vehicle administration is manned by deputy director MVA Muda. Then in the DTT and DTL, we have a versatile head there who is Akim Yusuf, H of units. Then again, when you go, they have a legal unit where you have the deputy director in charge of legal herself, a lawyer, Mrs. Ene, and also of other things. Then they have a human resource, Onoja. They doesn't take it lightly. So all of them are working accordingly there as a team. But sometimes, like we are saying, the public also have the access to go to police provost at the command if there is traffic. What have
VIO provost,
VIO have provost, they have Savicom, they have monitoring and
if there's a need to complain,
that is it. And you can write formally address to the director. DRTS has been infringed upon. Exactly. Road safety also have provost.
Now you're talking about road safety. I want to, because of our time, I want to put two questions in one for you, so which maybe just use like 2 minutes to answer them. Number one, at the time, there was what they call e-coding that people paid for. It was supposed to be an electronic gadget or a chip that would link the number plate of vehicles to some gadgets out there to also maintain traffic laws and everything. And then, can you just tell us the difference between what the road safety does and what VIO? Because they do the same thing. They stop you, they say, paper, driver license, the same thing. So why do they overlap? Why do their functions overlap? So maybe in 2 minutes because of time.
You see, there is what they call trunk A, trunk B, and trunk C.
Okay. Road
safety as a federal traffic agency has jurisdiction on trunk A roads.
But I saw them. You see them.
No,
in the city
you asked a question. I'm bringing the answer. Then,
the
vehicle inspection offices, they are residual creation. Their authority lies under the state. They are supposed to be trunk B. Then the trunk C is for local government and also other things. But now they violated. You see, road safety mainly, with due respect, they are created not to be revenue generating agencies, with due respect, if they have any reservation. But you find out today, road safety will say VIO does not have jurisdiction of this. Tomorrow VIO will say this. Exactly. The issues are certain laws were borrowed from certain people. Orosanye report had made certain recommendations. It's not been done. So I think road safety, with due respect to the commercial, there are carnages on our highways. Road safety as a federal traffic agency, instead of coming within metropolis saying you stop, you have not worn seat belt, bring your these you say you this and that, let them be subjected to trunk arrows, highways. So that the enforcement by road safety will reduce speed on the roads, so that they will leave VIOs with vehicle inspection. I've given you the jurisdiction of VIO, vehicle inspection. Are you getting my point? Then again, for example, even if a vehicle will move electoral materials from one state to the other, the people that have the jurisdiction to do that inspection is vehicle inspection offices. But because of politics, such people do. So today you find out that even the police wants to become revenue generation, this and that. Why IBB, General Ibrahim Babangida, with due respect to set up road safety, is not to generate revenue. It's for them. It was Professor Wole,
just like the name.
It was the renowned Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, that brought this concept. Road safety is like a club in United States of America. So he brought it, sold the idea to Ibrahim Babangida administration in 88, and they brought it into law through
decree. Became the first head.
And became what have you. So let them not violate it, with due respect. They are under the office of Secretary to General Government of the Federation. So let the laws that establish them be reviewed. It is the responsibility of National Assembly. Then the ones that are residual creations, let them also do their job. Then another one you've not spoken about. When you are moving,
what about the e-coding that I mentioned?
Well, the e-coding,
what happened? Because people actually paid.
Policies come sometimes when they are obsolete, later they go. Because we are advancing, don't forget. Maybe after it was done during the former director Major Argungu. So maybe after some time, when the predecessor Colonel Olurotimi took over, they felt it was not necessary and they had to stop it because we are digitalizing. Don't forget there are also refiner, like computerized inspection now. It's a public-private partnership initiative that was brought under the DTAH. So if the e-coding is not working, the computerized
the roadworthiness.
For every vehicle that is doing renewal, that computerized inspection fee is removed there. Now, the Ministry of Finance, in conjunction with vehicle inspection offices, have also brought what they call VRHK, vehicle registration, where all the details go to the MBS and also other things, where they charge certain 2,500 and whatever. If you go there, you see VRH. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it also lies. There is joint tax board. There are certain things that bring them together. Let them synergize and work, because traffic is everybody's business. They are all government properties. Whether FRSC at the federal level, VIOs at the residual creation, police under the federal custodian of internal security and also other things. So the issues we are saying also, like the police, also we are talking about security. Police barracks have been sold. So no, what I'm telling you,
no, we have to
if they want
them. Maybe we'll do
if they want police to also take charge internal security, let them bring back that sales of barracks they've done. It's wrong.
All right, it's okay. That has been Comrade Salihu Dantata Mahmoud. He's a special guest who has graced the studio for us today on Abuja File. And it is my hope and belief that we are going to do a part 2 of this particular program, because we still have a lot to talk, because the comrade, like you can see, is a very critical stakeholder as far as the FCT is concerned. And this is the size of our program today. And our Abuja File will come your way same time next week. Until then, remain a patriotic citizen of this great country, Nigeria. My name is John Okoro. See you next time, and goodbye.